coughed up a blood clot for you, and that's what you're gonna give me? Hello, Maya in the Moment here. Welcome to another Maya in the Moment video. My fan is on because it is way too hot and it's 100 and something here in Arizona, so just deal with the sound, please. This video is a story time. I don't even know what to really call it because it is a specific moment and it has to do with a boy and blood. I know what you're thinking. Why would you put those two words in the same sentence? This has to do with the blood coming out of your nose. Growing up, I would get random, horrible nosebleeds. And it's not something like, oh, my nose is bleeding. It was the kind of nosebleed that looks like you got punched in the nose because of how thick and fast the blood was running. Okay, that was every single day of my life since I was little. And I don't know why it happened, but these random nosebleeds would give me so much anxiety throughout the day because, you know, you have presentations at school, you talk to your peers, you, God forbid, you have a crush on somebody and build up the courage to go talk to them. I remember this one time in elementary school, the day before I was in elementary school, okay, and I was picking my nose a little bit, just a little bit, and it started bleeding. And I was like, well, at least my nose has a reason to bleed because I scratched it or something. And so the next day, my nose starts bleeding again during class, and usually I take care of it by just putting a tissue up my nose because I used to carry a wad of tissues in my pocket or in my purse or in my backpack. But this time I was like feeling a little lazy. It was math class and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the nurse and see what she has to say about it. So I go to the nurse and she's looking at my nose, and there's this girl next to me who's just sitting in the chair. Like, I don't even know what she was doing. She had like an ice pack. I don't know, it was just like on her knee or something. I told the nurse, yeah, my nose just starts bleeding like all the time, randomly throughout the day. I don't really know why. The girl next to me goes, have you been picking your nose? It's probably because you pick your nose too much. And I got so mad because she was right. But that doesn't explain all the other times my nose had been bleeding randomly, and I wanted to grab her by her chongo and throw her across the wall. Obviously I didn't do that, so I just looked at her like... The nurse was like, any time that your nose bleeds and you want it to stop, just tilt your head back. And I know for a fact that you are not supposed to do that. I am not a nurse. I am just somebody who's had many nosebleeds in her life, and I know you are not supposed to recommend somebody to do that because this is all connected to here. One time I did it and I tasted blood and it was disgusting. I'm like, I will never do this again. This is horrible. I know to take care of my nosebleeds. I'll just bring a bunch of tissues. Like, as long as I have my tissues, I'm fine. I'm good. Fast forward to high school. These nosebleeds are still happening during class, whatever. It's become a part of my routine. They would happen randomly when I get excited, when I would be stressed out, even when I was just chilling and had no emotion to build my blood pressure up. My junior year of high school, I had a crush on this boy. We're gonna call him Joseph. So Joseph played the drums. He played the snare drums in the band, in the drum line, and I was in orchestra. I was first chair. I beat out 2 seniors in the viola section. Every day during lunch, the band and orchestra would go to the band room to practice music, to hang out. That was like our sanctuary. I would always ditch my friends and go straight to the practice room to play piano every single day. It was one of my favorite things in the world to do, and I would see him, and we all knew each other because we were in the circle of music. He was so cute, and I think he was the drum leader, the section leader. I have always been like a shy girl, especially in high school, and I would never really approach anybody that I would like or pursue them, and even if I were to, my nose would probably bleed. So I never did. One semester he TA'd for orchestra, and when you TA for orchestra, it's just a free class to do nothing. We got to spend a lot of time together and talk, and we exchanged numbers, which was like a big deal to me. He would text me and I would text him, and it wasn't anything too special, but any attention he could give me, even if it was like a glance, was like, oh my god, he loves me. Yeah, I was one of those girls. One day I went to the practice room, as I always do, and played the piano, and he was standing outside the door, kind of leaning like the cool guy lean, and he was like, and this is the thing, is that he knew he was attractive, and he knew he played into the whole seniority game. So he knocks on the door, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, you're cool, chill. And I'm like, hey, Joseph? And he's like, hey, Maya, you know, you're getting really good on the piano. And I'm like, am I? Yeah, I don't think I'm that great, but thank you. If there was one thing I was confident about, it was music and playing piano. So I downplayed that a little bit to stay humble, but I'd been practicing every single day. I knew I was good. And he's like, so, are you gonna go to the game on Friday? And I'm like, the game? Oh, are you gonna be there? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing in the marching band since I'm in the marching band. I'm like, oh, yeah, of course, yeah, I'll be there. He's like, cool, make sure to say hi to me. I'm like, okay. And he closes the door, and I'm like, after school, I run to my best friend and I'm like, girl, we gotta go to the game Friday. I hate football, I hate games. This is also another thing about me. I cannot be in the sun. I get very sunsick and my eyes roll into the back of my head and I get super dehydrated and I get like a buzzing headache and also my nose bleeds. But when a boy asks if I will be attending, of course I'm gonna go. Hours before the game, I'm in my room getting ready to go, and I have the one-on-one affirmation pep talk. So I'm gonna show you how my pep talk went. You got this. I know you got. My nose is bleeding. There's nothing that can stop you. This is your day. I was going to be confident. I wasn't gonna let this stupid nose situation take away from my high school dating experience, okay? It was gonna be something to remember. So I'm walking to the bleachers and I walk up and I purposely sit next to the band section. Halftime show goes on and they play, and then after they get kind of a break, and he's walking up to the student section where I'm at, and he notices me and he's like, oh, hey Maya, how are you? I'm like, I'm great, Joseph. How are you? Yeah, you did awesome. You did great. He's like, oh, thanks. Yeah. Oh my God. I think your nose is bleeding. And I'm like, you're beautiful too. Oh my God. You know what? I have tissues. I will get my tissues from my purse. I don't have tissues. After all that affirmation, prepping and primping, I forget to bring tissues. I didn't even bring my purse. I just have my ID, my school ID, and $3 to my name in my pocket. And at this point, the blood is halfway down my chin. So I'm running to the bathroom. The blood is like dripping all over the place, and I'm wearing like this nice shirt that I bought just for the occasion, and it happens to be white. So I'm like, I know what I have to do, and I don't want to do this, and I vowed not to do this. I preached not to do this. I have to tilt my head back in order to stop the bleeding. And so I tilt my head back, and I'm just running and running, and my friend is like moving and pushing everybody out of the way. I'm just like like this, running. I start to taste metal, and it's like this overwhelming sensation of blood. I taste the blood, I'm drinking it, I'm just swallowing. And then if you're eating right now or drinking anything, stop this video and watch it after you have digested everything, because this is gonna get gross. I felt like I was choking. I finally get to the bathroom and I like punch open the door, and I punch open the stall door, and I couldn't make it to the toilet, and I knew what was happening. My body was rejecting all the blood that was filling up in my throat, and I fall to my knees and I cough up a huge blood clot. It was the size of a golf ball, and like I said, I didn't make it to the toilet. I coughed it up and it landed like where your feet are, and my friend was like, oh my God, and a couple of girls walked into the bathroom. Oh my God, and they run out. My friend is like, And she has a very sensitive stomach. She was like a super baby about all that stuff. But then again, I did cough up a huge clot of blood. So yeah, and I got so freaked out. I felt so lightheaded. I think it was a combination of nerves, of the sun, because it was super hot. I never went into that bathroom since. And as far as Joseph, he was stringing along not only me, but my other friend who was in the orchestra, and then a couple other like sophomores and freshmen. And it was like he had a boo in each class. And I was just like, I coughed up a blood clot for you, and that's what you're gonna give me? Well, that's gonna be the beginning of the video. The weird thing is that as soon as I graduated high school, I swear to God, the nosebleed stopped. I have not had one since high school. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if some way I got cursed. Somebody gave me ojo, somebody gave me the evil eye. I mean, I haven't gotten a nosebleed since. And I have not talked to that boy since. So that's my story about the time that I coughed up blood because of a boy. So I don't even know what the moral of the story is for this. I was just a young, naive girl and thought because this guy was the section leader in the drumming thing that he was worth going out into the sun.